Today's video's lighting is brought to you by nature.
I tried all the different lights in this room and it just looked awful, so.
We have like professional lights, but they're in the other room.
Couldn't be bothered to carry them all the way in here. We wanted to sit with our Halloween decorations, which you honestly can barely see.
We have a sign that just says bow.
Should I move it up so you can see the pumpkin? Yeah.
I don't
you
think
know
it's,
what?
I think I really.
We're gonna adjust it, everybody.
Here we go.
Now isn't that better? Look at that.
Welcome back to another episode of Monday Grub Bag, the series where we answer all of your most burning questions from deep within your hearts.
Wow, actually they're from the comment section of our previous video. So if you would like to ask a question, you can comment it on this video.
Yes, you may. And we may or may not get to it. There are some people who have been asking questions every week and getting angrier and angrier that we are not answering them. Many of them we've answered 1 million times before.
Oh.
So like someone that says, how did you two meet? We've explained that in probably 50 videos.
Well, there is also a video called How We Met, so you can look that up.
Yes. Before leaving a question, please watch all 500 plus videos in our library.
Oh, Lord.
We had to pause because we realized we were filming in 120 frames, which is a much bigger file size.
Yep.
So here we go. We're going to begin now.
No idea where we were.
Question number 1. Hello.
Hello.
Welcome to the show.
Welcome to the show.
Welcome to the show.
It's time
To talk
about
our lives.
All right, question number 1. Shane, did you have chores when you were a kid? I know you do lots of spreadsheets and calls and stuff as an adult, but that's not the kind of things typically assigned to kids, LOL. Curious if that caused any friction with your brother.
Great question. Very thoughtful. From the age of like 5 onward, I managed the bills for my family. No, just kidding. I did do some chores. The only 2 I really remember, and they were both short-lived, were folding laundry. Like my mom would hand me a pile of socks, let's say,
Socks, yeah.
and I would match them and fold them. You have to remember, when I was like a younger kid, I had way more function in my arms. For instance, I used to be able to like put a hat on my head, and now this is about as high as I can raise my arms. So I was able to like fold laundry kind of effectively. And then the other one that I did more was, it was my job to put the silverware back in the silverware drawer once it was done being washed. But me doing this chore was not helpful in any imaginable way. Like, they had to pull the drawer all the way out of the cabinet or the whatever.
Yeah.
And it would often like get stuck or not get back in right. Then they would put the whole drawer on the table in front of me. I would have to pull up in a very peculiar manner. I would need all of the silverware arranged nicely where I could reach it. And even then, it took me a half hour to put away like 20 utensils, to the point where I often was like, 10 minutes in, I was like, Mom and Dad, I'm tired, I need to do homework.
Yeah.
Like, and they were always, you know, they didn't like force me to do anything painful or anything like that. But I think they just wanted to instill in me like, this is your job, this is how you're helping. But once it became like really difficult, we just stopped.
Yeah.
And yeah, I remember there being some friction between my brother and I, or more like my brother and my parents at various times through the years, where like he would get mad that I didn't have to do as much. And it was always, you know, we were young. We were just like figuring those things out. And, you know, as we got older, he understood that like Shane's not going to take the garbage out or mow the lawn. Like, that would not help anyone.
That wouldn't go well.
But thankfully it was never like a big thing.
Yeah.
You know, I don't have any memories of like huge fights about it.
Yeah. All right, question number 2. Will Hannah change her last name to Burcaw?
Ooh.
I don't know if this person doesn't know that we're married yet. Like, I don't know what context this person has. But I have not yet legally changed my name to Burcaw. And the reason for that is inconvenience and laziness. I don't feel like it. I don't want...
She could not be bothered to go get our light from the other room. Can you imagine, like, changing your last name is a lot of work. There are forms and appointments.
I have a passport. I have a driver's license. Like, I just had to get that renewed a couple years ago on my birthday. So now I'm like, I have to do it again. It's just, there's never been a day where I'm like, that sounds fun.
And I think the biggest problem is that we were about to do it.
Yeah.
And then I asked our accountant, hey, is there anything I need to think about that maybe I don't know? Hannah's about to change her name.
Yeah.
And our accountant was like,
do not do that right now.
She was like, we're in the process of filing your taxes right now.
It was maybe, 2 winters ago.
Maybe hold off.
Yeah.
And then do it after we file this year's taxes.
Everything needs to go through and be done before you start randomly changing your identity. And so we were like, great, postponement. And now it's been 2 years.
We were like, well, it's not our fault. We're not lazy. It's just better for our accountant.
It's just we can't right now. So yeah, we just haven't yet. And also it's there's no, I have that name. At speaking engagements we use it. And I use it personally. So it feels nice to me.
Your Instagram name is Hannah Burcaw.
I use that in my everyday life. And so I'm like, well, there's nothing to gain from me going through all of this trouble. So eventually I'm sure I will. But right now I'm just I don't feel like filing any paperwork.
Yeah, it's just a lot of work for really no reason.
Yeah.
We can just say your name's Burcaw.
Yeah.
Who cares?
Done. All right, question 3. Another one for me. Hannah, is there a reason your parents had you and your siblings so far apart? Because we just talked about that. So I'm the youngest. My older brother is 13 years older than me, and my oldest brother is 20 years older than me. And basically, my parents, they liked the idea of having kids far apart. My older brothers are only 7 years apart, so that was one was 7, and they were like, this is a great time to have another kid.
And you have to remember that we've just created these characters for the purpose of the scam that we're pulling on all of you. They're just made up people, and so we can say whatever we want. Anyway, back to you, Hannah.
Thank you so much for that little insertion. Anyway, so my brothers are only 7 years apart, which I don't think is a huge gap. My parents liked that one kid was done with the young childhood years, and then they were like, great. And then I was sort of an afterthought. My parents were done having kids. They had 2 boys.
That sounds so mean. I know you didn't mean it.
I was very wanted, but they were done. They were totally done having kids. And then my mom thought that she was pregnant, right, a couple years before she had me, she thought she was pregnant and was excited, and then found out that she wasn't. And then she was like, oh my God, I do want another kid. And so my parents, and she was my mom had me in her 40s. So she was in a clinical trial to have, there was Clomid or something, one of those. It was a thing that helps you get pregnant, whatever. She was in the first trial of that. And it was successful, and she had me.
Yeah.
Late. And so
that's
why I was I was very wanted, but it was after they were we're done having kids. And then they were oh my God, what if we're pregnant? And then they were no, we want to be pregnant.
And I think that's a nice dynamic. I mean, I obviously didn't know you when you were growing up.
Yeah.
But now, having all your family, all your brothers have their lives established with families of their own, it's nice because we can all just hang out as adults or whatever.
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah. It's fun.
And there's different my oldest niece is only 8 years younger than me, so it was different but fun growing up. Okay, Hannah, we hear a lot about your family. That's ironic. Did you put these in order?
I put that one there on purpose.
But Shane, are you close with your parents? Are they active or moderately active in your life?
Yes. So we don't hear a lot about my family because they all live in Pennsylvania. So my involvement with them is pretty much over the phone right now. They are very involved in my life. My mom and dad and brother and my brother's wife, we all have a big family chat where we mostly share our Wordle scores.
I was going to say.
And the food that we're making. It's food photos and Wordle scores.
Yeah.
But then I also talk to my mom and dad outside of that pretty much every day.
Yeah.
And then we have phone calls on the weekends here and there.
And they spent a week here this summer.
Yeah.
We're going to go visit them in December. So we see them, we've managed to see them mostly multiple times a year except for COVID. That was a long gap.
Changed it, yeah.
Yeah.
That was 2 years, right?
Since you went home. You saw them, they came here once before you went home. So I think it was a year and a half that you didn't see your parents. And then it was 2 years that you didn't see the rest of your family.
Yeah. So that was a bit different.
Yeah.
And I've only been living here for almost 5 years.
Yeah.
So not a whole lot of time to work with yet.
Yeah.
But we do see them and talk to them regularly, and they're a great part of my life. My dad and I bond over music and sports, and my mom and I bond over cooking and organization and animals and
True.
gardening.
Yeah.
We talked a lot about gardening this summer.
Yeah.
Anyway, those are my parents.
Aw. All right. I'm a newish viewer that has been
Let's leave that into
Okay. I'm a newish viewer that has been binge watching your videos. Say has been binge watching.
Has been binge watching, binger.
Okay. Can you give an update on Shane's new wheelchair? It seems he is still using the old one primarily. Thanks. Yeah, good question. And you know what? We just posted a reel on Instagram where Shane's in his new chair, and he was in that for a specific reason. And someone was like, "Oh, is your new chair finally working out for you?"
Like, oh no.
And I'm like, "Oh."
So I put this question because many of you are wondering. I got my new chair,
in December.
A long time ago, almost a year ago. And then we told you there were issues with it.
And I would like to say that in the year leading up to getting this new chair, we must have said 100 times, it is an extremely slow process. Shane is not looking forward to it. It is very difficult. He's not going to use it right away. And then like a week after you got the new chair, people were like, where is it? Why aren't you using it?
And I understand that it's not something that they are probably like used to.
Yeah, we tried our best to explain why this is happening, but go ahead.
But when I say like very difficult, I didn't mean like, oh, it's gonna suck for a day.
Yeah.
I meant like it might not be possible.
Yeah.
And if it is possible, it will be grueling and strenuous and extended periods of time required to make it happen.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna give you an example. When we filmed that reel, was it yesterday?
Yeah.
That we filmed that?
Yeah.
I said to Hannah, like, how about we try working on my chair a bit? And we've done this countless times in the past year, trying to spend some time making it work. But I want to explain to you what that entailed. Our mission for this time was going to be to put the seat from this chair into that new chair.
Take out that one,
to see if that might help my butt going numb.
Yeah.
So Hannah had to lift me onto the bed so that she could get this seat out and then get the other seat out of my other chair. Changing the seat required the armrest to be adjusted by unscrewing screws, moving things, screwing it back in. It required the feet rest to be adjusted. Same thing, although that one was way more difficult. We didn't know how to do it. So Hannah had to like Google.
Yeah, once I found out it was normal, but it was like under a hidden plate. I guess it's to make it look nice, but I was like, where are the screws? I found them.
So the chair took literally 20 to 30 minutes before I could even get in.
Yeah.
So Hannah now lifts me into the chair. Lifting me isn't like wildly easy either, you know?
Yeah.
When you're like hot and tired, it's not the easiest thing in the world. Hannah puts me in the chair. Many things are not right because of the change of the seat.
Yeah.
We can't change those things while I'm in the chair though.
Yeah, so Shane's trying to estimate, like move the side rest down maybe 2 inches, move the feet rest up maybe 2 inches. You know, he's like trying to give measurements.
So Hannah lifts me back out of the chair.
Yeah.
We're probably at like 35 minutes now, and I don't know what to change to make it comfortable.
Yeah.
So they put me back in. All right, my legs are feeling a little bit better. I think the side rest is okay, but my head was falling like this, and there was nothing I could think of to get my head to stay upright.
Mm-hmm.
Fine, we put the straps on. We put the joystick
I had to move
down.
the headrest a lot.
The headrest had to be all, again, with like screws and all these things. We're hot. We're tired. I'm getting angry because I don't know what to explain to Hannah to fix. Like, I don't have ideas.
Yeah.
I can't.
Oh, and the joystick.
Yep.
Yeah, that was the final thing is like we tried to put the joystick down, and because it was the other seat, there was no spot for it to go, so Shane couldn't reach it. And that was when we were like, we just did all of that for no reason. So we had to then undo everything I had just done, switch the seats back, and then try to get Shane comfortable in the original seat.
This was on a Sunday while football was on that I wanted to be watching, but you know, we were in the room without a TV.
Yeah.
And it's just a day that we want to be relaxing and having a good time. Instead, this was an hour and a half, all said and done, of frustration and strenuous activity for Hannah. It made me tired. It was painful.
Yeah. And that led to nothing.
And it led to nothing.
Yeah, it was a waste.
And we've done this countless times.
Yeah.
So think about how frustrating that becomes over the months. I don't have a solution.
Yeah.
Right now, we're going to keep trying because every person on earth, including me, really wants me to be in that chair. but it's just really annoying. So.
Yeah, and it's hard because we want to make an appointment with the seating clinic to like have them maybe like carve the seat, like do something differently because it's just not working. Shane's butt goes numb immediately. Like he can't sit in the chair. So we want to have them do something different, but like we tried to do that. There was like a 2-week wait to even be able to schedule the appointment. It's just going to be like, they're going to be like, great, you want to have an appointment for April? You know?
Yeah. And those
just a pain in the butt.
those appointments are the same thing that we're doing at home.
Yeah.
Like they say, okay, what do you need us to do? And I say, I don't know.
Yeah.
So we try one thing, that takes a half hour. Then they come back, put me back in the chair.
Yeah.
Okay, I have to wait and see like if this is gonna help, but that takes time.
And then we get a copay bill for like $1,000. So it's not really not the best appointment to schedule. We're not really itching to do that again.
So if you've been wondering why we're not heavy on the wheelchair updates,
yeah,
it's because nothing's happening.
Yeah.
When something happens, we'll let you know, and it's just a really annoying and not fun process.
Yep.
There it is.
All right, last question.
I will not be answering that anymore, so please stop commenting that.
What's your zombie apocalypse plan?
Ooh.
That's a fun one. I feel like we live in a really bad house for a zombie apocalypse.
Too many windows.
Yeah, there's too many windows. So.
We would need to board them up, and I know I can just tell that Hannah would not enjoy boarding up windows.
I agree. Where would we get the boards?
Home Depot?
Your zombie apocalypse plan is we drive to Home Depot?
Are
we scavenging or are we purchasing?
We're the first ones to know in this scenario.
Okay, so we're just like purchasing some boards.
We found out before the general public.
Okay.
We're doing a real sly, make our way over to Home Depot and buy some wood. No, I mean, I think overall, like, Hannah and I are not going to be the fighters.
No.
You know, we're not going to fight our way to
We're going to be the hiders.
Hiders and like the thinkers.
Yeah.
You know, we're going to booby trap the hell out of this compound. We are going to beat them with our brains, not our brawn.
Yeah.
Do you have any other, like, how can we...
We should probably, like, stockpile some food and maybe buy some wooden boards.
Now?
Because I don't think we're going to get a head start. Yeah, I think if your plan is to board up the windows, you know, in any sort of apocalypse.
It surprises me that you are not more of a doomsday
I could get there.
survivalist.
Can you tell that I could get there?
I can tell that you would fill a basement with like survival items.
Goods.
Yeah.
I could so if you had like an inkling of it, I would latch onto it. Shane is not that way at all, so it's we just don't. But I feel like it's circumstantial. If I was with someone who was like, I want to prep an end of world room, I would be like, okay, I do too.
That's very in your personality.
Yeah, it reminds me of like a book,
Yeah, and I'm more like, we'll figure it out if that ever happens.
Yeah.
Probably won't. But,
so whatever.
Anyway, that's our zombie apocalypse. It's not really a plan.
Yeah, we don't really have a plan. I guess our plan is like we're not going to fare well.
If any of you have skills that would complement our survival,
you can come live here.
Feel free to leave a comment about what you would add to kind of our team, and maybe we'll have you. When we find out, when we get the early tell about the zombie apocalypse, we'll give you a ring and say you might want to get over here to Minnesota.
Yep. And we're in a terrible place. Like
we're headed to Home Depot.
We need heat though. Like I feel like we should move somewhere. I don't think Minnesotans. At least me.
Will the fireplace still work in the zombie apocalypse?
It's a gas fireplace. We pay for that. We would need wood.
Hopefully someone's plan in the zombie apocalypse
is to keep the gas in the city running.
To continue supplying gas,
that's our plan.
essential items.
Yeah, the stores need to be stocked.
Electricity.
If we don't have those things, we are done.
Oh, man. Yeah, we won't fare well.
Nope. All right.
That was Monday Grab Bag.
Monday Grab Bag.
Zombie edition.
Yeah. Halloween edition.
Ooh, yeah. Boo. Bye.
Look at our dog. Look at our dog. Look at our dog. Can you believe that?
We're recording, right? Looks like we're not.
Yeah, we're recording. I cannot, Shane.
Aww. A little baby.